We've all been there, stuck with those super frustrating problems at work that just never, ever seem to go away. Well, today, we're going to talk about a powerful method that helps us stop guessing at solutions and start knowing the right one.
Sound familiar? You put out a fire, you think you fixed something, and then bam, a month later, it's back. It feels like you're just chasing symptoms, stuck in this endless loop of temporary fixes. It's a workplace mystery that just won't be solved.
But what if I told you there's a structured, almost scientific way to crack the case? A method that relies on cold, hard data, not gut feelings, to find the real culprit and, get rid of it for good. That's exactly what we're about to dive into.
So, the secret weapon here is a 5-step framework called DMAIC. Now, this is the engine that drives a whole philosophy called Six Sigma. Think of it as our roadmap, the thing that's going to guide us out of that chaos and confusion and into clarity and control. Let's walk through it.
Okay, so here are the steps. Define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. Each one builds on the last, creating this really logical path to a solution that actually lasts. It's a complete journey from start to finish, and we're about to get started.
All right, first things first. We have to stop guessing. We need to get the facts straight. The define and measure phases are all about figuring out what reality looks like. What is the problem really, and just how big is it?
In the define phase, you start with something called a project charter. This is basically the mission statement for your fix. It takes a fuzzy goal like, hey, let's fix the invoice problem, and turns it into something super specific, like, we will reduce invoice delays from 30% down to under 5%. You also listen to what's called the voice of the customer, turning those vague complaints like the service is slow into a concrete target you can actually measure. This way, everybody's on the same page.
And this is what the measure phase gives us: a baseline, a fact. After we collect the data, we know for sure 30% of our invoices are delayed. This isn't just a feeling somebody has. This number is our starting point. It's the reality we're setting out to change.
Okay, so we've defined the problem and we've measured it. Now for the fun part. It's time for some real detective work. The analyze phase is where we put on our detective hats and dig deep to find the true root cause, not just the surface level symptoms. So you use a simple tool like a Pareto chart, and suddenly something amazing happens. After listing out all the potential reasons for our invoice delays, the data screams at us. One single issue, missing documents, is causing over half the entire problem. So instead of trying to fix a dozen things at once, the data tells us exactly where to focus our energy for the biggest possible win. But wait, we can't stop there. Knowing what the big problem is, well, that's not enough. We have to know why it's happening. Why are these documents always missing in the first place? We gotta keep digging deeper. And here's an incredibly powerful technique for doing just that. It's called the 5 whys. You just keep asking why, peeling back the layers of the issue. So shipments are late. Why? Because orders are processed late. Why? They miss the daily cutoff. Why? Well, that policy isn't communicated to everyone. Why not? It's not in the training materials. And the final why? Why isn't it in the training? Because the policy was never actually written down. Boom. Just like that, we went from a symptom all the way down to a real, tangible root cause we can actually fix. Now that we found the real culprit, we can finally design a real solution. The improve and control phases are where we roll out the fix and, this is just as important, make absolutely sure that it sticks around for the long haul.
One of the most brilliant ways to improve a process is to mistake-proof it. There's a Japanese term for this, pokioke. Look at this. Before, it was possible for people to submit incomplete forms, which was causing our whole missing documents problem. The fix? So simple. Just make those fields mandatory in the form. Now, the error literally can't happen. It's a permanent solution that gets right to the root of the problem. And finally, to make sure we don't just slide back into our old bad habits, we enter the control phase. This is about making our success permanent. We create a control plan to keep an eye on performance, we document the new best way of doing things in a standard operating procedure or an SOP, and we use dashboards to make the results visible to everybody. It's not about micromanaging, it's about protecting our hard-won improvement. So what's the big takeaway here? This whole DMAIC framework, it's the heart of the Six Sigma philosophy. And what it represents is a huge shift in how you think about problems. It's way more than just a box of tools. When you boil it all down, it's about this:
stopping the endless, exhausting cycle of firefighting. Instead of just treating the symptoms, data guides us to put our energy where it actually counts, on the root cause. And that means you get solutions that are way more effective and, best of all, permanent.
So here it is in a nutshell. Six Sigma is a disciplined, structured approach that uses data to solve problems and get rid of defects. It's the method that takes you from just guessing to actually knowing, making sure the improvements you make today are still working for you tomorrow.
And that brings us to a final thought for you. Think about your own job, your own team. What's that one annoying, frustrating problem that just keeps coming back again and again? Maybe, just maybe, it's waiting for its own data-driven breakthrough. Maybe it's time to stop guessing and start measuring.